Why are we drawn to love stories we know must end in sorrow? Why do we revisit places that no longer exist, speak fondly of people long gone, or feel a tender ache when thinking of who we used to be? This video is about falling in love with ghosts, not the supernatural, but the emotional. Ghosts of people, places, time periods, and even former selves. The ephemeral, the unreachable, the already lost. The things we love not despite their impermanence, but because of it. From tragic romances in film to the aesthetics of anime, from the quiet grief in poetry to the haunting beauty of video games, we return again and again to stories that hurt us because they make us feel alive. Subscribe for more deep dives like this one, like and turn on notifications. In cinema, few things are more affecting than a love story doomed from the start. Films like A Walk to Remember, Midnight Sun, and The Fault in Our Stars invite us to fall in love with someone who is already slipping away. The dying lover becomes a ghost before they're even gone, haunting the story with beauty, urgency, and impending loss. Why do we love these stories? Because impermanence intensifies value. A kiss means more when it might be the last. A smile shared under a terminal diagnosis burns brighter than 1,000 ordinary mornings. These romances compress a lifetime of emotion into a fleeting moment, and that compression creates intensity. They also offer catharsis. As Aristotle said, tragedy allows us to purge grief and fear in a controlled way. Watching two people love fully under the shadow of death lets us confront our own fragility safely. And when the character dies, they don't truly vanish. They become an eternal memory, preserved in the heart of the surviving lover and in the soul of the viewer. To fall in love with a ghost, then, is to love without possession. It's to cherish something knowing it must go. And in that sacrifice, that surrender, we experience a kind of grace. Japanese anime has perfected the art of longing. At the center of it is Mono no Aware, the gentle sadness of things passing. In Your Lie in April, Kaori plays the violin like she's burning through life. Every note is a defiance of her illness. Her love story is a requiem in motion, and when she's gone, her letter lingers like a sigh in spring air. I Want to Eat Your Pancreas takes the absurd and turns it profound. Sakura knows she's dying, and still, she loves, boldly, brightly. Her body will disappear, but she hopes a part of her will live on in the boy she changed. The title isn't grotesque, it's poetic, a way of asking to be remembered. In 5 centimeters per second, love is measured not in closeness, but in distance. The cherry blossoms fall, the trains pass, the lovers drift. There's no melodrama, just reality, just time. Anime doesn't teach us to avoid pain. It teaches us to appreciate beauty precisely because it fades. The ghost in anime isn't always literal. It's the unspoken confession, the half-finished conversation, the feeling of warmth that remains after someone has left. It's an afterimage, something felt in the silence. Through its stories and seasons, anime tells us, yes, you will lose. But in losing, you learn to see what mattered. What happens when you're not just watching the story, but living it. Games like To the Moon, Life is Strange, and Spiritfarer explore love and loss through interaction. These aren't just sad games, they're emotional simulations of letting go. Into the Moon, you walk through a man's dying memories, trying to fulfill his wish to see his late wife one more time. River, his beloved, is already gone, but her presence haunts every moment. You aren't just reading a love story, you're assembling one. With every memory pieced together, you fall deeper into his grief. Life is Strange offers a cruel choice. Save the one you love, or save the town. Chloe, rebellious and wounded, becomes a character many players grow to love deeply. Letting her die isn't just narrative, it's personal. You have to choose to lose her, and once you do, she lives on as a photo, a song, a memory, a ghost. In Spiritfarer, you ferry spirits to the afterlife. You cook for them, hug them, learn their regrets, and then, one by one, you let them go. The ever door opens, they vanish, and you're left alone under the stars. It's gentle but devastating. Even epic RPGs like Final Fantasy X turn this theme into myth. Tidus loves Yuna, knowing her quest will kill her. But the twist? He's the ghost, a dream given form, and in the end he fades. Their love was never meant to last, but that doesn't make it any less real. Games allow us to live out impermanence, to make the choice, to say goodbye. And sometimes that makes the heartbreak feel even more intimate than film. Long before modern media, poets were writing to their ghosts. In the West, the Romantics gave us odes to fleeting beauty. Keats wrote of joy bidding adieu, of stars he could never reach. Tennyson told us, "'Tis better to have loved and lost, not as cliché, but as sacred truth." Poe wrote of Annabel Lee, buried by the sea, her love stronger than death. Dickinson whispered that love is immortality, and she meant it. Eastern poetry did the same, with fewer words but no less feeling. In Japan, Ono no Komachi reached for a lover who vanished in the morning mist. Basho wrote of falling blossoms and fading light. The beauty wasn't in the permanence, but in the passing. To these poets, love is not negated by its ending. It is made real by it. The lover becomes a phantom. The memory becomes the poem. And in writing they live again. Not all ghosts are people. Some are eras, cities, summers. Some are who you used to be. Have you ever walked through your childhood neighborhood and felt a sting? The park is smaller. The air smells different. Something's missing. And that something is you, years ago. That version of you that believed, dreamed, played. Artists know this feeling well. Midnight in Paris shows us a man in love with the 1920s, only to learn that everyone misses the past. The golden age is always just before us, like a mirage, like a ghost. Painters like Friedrich drew ruins, not because they were ugly, but because they held memory. Abandoned spaces are charged, they echo. We imagine laughter once lived there, music once played, and now, silence. In literature, the ghost of place becomes myth. Tolkien's elves fade into the west. The old world slips away, and we ache, even though it's fictional, because it mirrors our real losses, eras that will never return. But perhaps the most profound ghost is the one in the mirror, your past self, the dreams you had, the mistakes, the moments you thought you'd never survive. They still live inside you. Sometimes we grieve who we were. Sometimes we miss them. Sometimes we try to get them back. And sometimes we learn to love them from afar, accepting that we've grown beyond them, but not away from them. Falling in love with ghosts is not about morbidity. It's about awareness. It's about recognizing that life's beauty is its brevity, that to love is to risk losing, that every hello contains a goodbye, but in that bittersweet truth lies the heart of our humanity. These stories, these memories, these games and poems, they aren't depressing. They're proof that we loved, that we felt something worth remembering, that something mattered. Ghosts remind us of what we once had, but more importantly, they remind us who we still are because of what we loved. In every letter written to a lost lover, in every anime ending that leaves us weeping, in every abandoned town we photograph, in every video game farewell that makes us pause, we are trying to say, you mattered, you changed me, you're still with me. That's why we fall in love with ghosts, because ghosts are love, preserved. Thank you for watching. If this resonated with you, please subscribe for more in-depth essays like this. Like the video and turn on notifications. And if there's a ghost you still love, someone, somewhere, or some version of yourself, hold them gently in your heart, not to keep them, but to remember what made them worth loving in the first place.